Shannon Sharpe, unfortunately for you, here come the Dallas Cowboys right on schedule, not only on offense, but also on defense. I saw a Dallas Cowboy team yesterday that will win the NFC East and will also win the NFC period this year because they have come together right on schedule. And that is mostly because of the most still underrated quarterback in all of pro football, Dak Prescott, who is somehow playing at an even higher level than he played at last year, and to me, a considerably higher level than Wentz in a lifetime is playing for the Philadelphia
That's not
Eagles.
what the numbers say.
I'm sorry, but the numbers I go by, QBR, scale of 0 to 100, shout that he is playing at a much higher level because right now, again, Deshaun Watson, I hope he comes back soon, but he still hangs in at 82. Obviously, he's done for the year, so that leads the NFL in QBR. And guess who has risen to 81, just 1 point behind him? Dak Prescott. Guess who had by far, not by far, but had the highest QBR in all of football yesterday, the whole NFL for the whole weekend? Who was it? Dak Prescott had a 97 QBR against Kansas City. A pretty good defense, 97.
No, it's not.
Wow, that's
They're the
pretty
30th
good.
ranked defense in all of football. They're 32 teams. So don't tell the whole story.
No, I think it's a ball hawking defense. And how many turnovers did Dak Prescott have? How many help me out? Oh, they didn't have any. Oh, that will work. So 82 for Deshaun, 81 for Dak Prescott, and then you have to go clear down to 73 to find Wentz in a lifetime. Really? Is that what the numbers tell you?
Okay.
Help me out. Help me out.
Hey,
I'm not seeing it.
Joe,
97 QBR?
Hey,
wow.
Joe, I just opened up a restaurant.
Woo.
In my restaurant, we sell wins and losses. And right now, Carson Wentz ordered 8 wins. That's what we know. See, you keep talking about the Cowboys
Front
are coming.
runners.
Whoa, Skip. You keep
Have
talking.
they played Dallas yet? Help me out. Have they? No, help me out.
Skip. Have the Cowboys played the Eagles? You keep talking about the Cowboys are coming.
I can't wait.
You keep telling me the Cowboys are coming. I don't have to tell you the Eagles are coming. They're here.
So let's talk about W's and L's. If Sean Lee had been healthy for 2 back-to-back home games against the Los Angeles Rams and against Aaron Rodgers, guess what the Cowboy record would be right now? It would be 7-1 because Sean Lee is still the most underrated linebacker in all pro football, thanks in part to you who continues to say, Luke Kuechly, he gets all the acclaim. He's back,
Bobby
blah, blah, blah. Baloney. This guy does everything. He's all over the field. He is the driving force of that defense that finally, and remember, this is the second youngest team in pro football. Finally, all the kids are starting to figure out, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be, right place, right time, all because Sean Lee is back. And he did not play, obviously, for either of those 2 second halves of those 2 games, but Dak Prescott played plenty well enough to win both those games because in the first game, you remember this? Dallas is up 24-13 on the Rams, and now you look at
24-6 at one point.
Well, 24-13. I'll take Leighton. That's almost a halftime. 24-13. You know what? I'll take that.
Take it.
And Dak Prescott had a QBR in that game of 78, which is plenty good enough to win the football game. But they couldn't hold off either Jared Goff or mostly Todd Gurley, who would have been held off by Sean Lee in the second half. Cowboys led Aaron Rodgers 21-6 late in the first half. 21-6. Can you hang on to that? And by the way, Dak's QBR in that game was a 97 to Aaron Rodgers' QBR of 74. So that was quite a disparity there. But guess what? No Sean Lee, no W. Couldn't hang on. Terrence Williams let a ball go right through his hands.
I only have 3 things on my sports menu.
Yeah.
Wins, losses, and water. Now, which one what would you like to have?
Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott should be 7-1 right now. And you know what? What would happen if he were 7-1 with these kind of numbers? What would happen? Would he not be leading the QBR race right now?
Skip, we can't do ifs because guess what? If the Atlanta Falcons had held on, Matt Ryan had a 144.1 quarterback rating. They lost, Skip. They lost. The Cowboys lost. They are what their record says they are. The Philadelphia Eagles are 8-1. That's what their record says. Carson Wentz, he leads the NFL in touchdown passes, 23. Only 2 other quarterbacks in their first or second year have thrown for more touchdowns in their first 7 games.
Well,
Dan Marino, Hall of Fame.
Deshaun Watson has.
Deshaun Watson. No. He ain't got this. Can I finish? You let me finish? Dan Marino, you know him, Joy. Good for you, Danny. Book him, Dano. Hall of Fame. Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame. That's what Carson.
Are you guaranteeing now that Carson Wentz will be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh my goodness! See how you
Well,
jump?
you know what, Joy? I think if memory serves, he's already in.
Well, they put him in last year.
Well, I think they either put him in last year, or certainly after that. Was it the Thursday night at Carolina? I think you and who flew up there? I know you went up and inducted.
All I'm saying is if you look at this, the Denver Broncos rushed for 177 yards on Monday night against Kansas City. The Philadelphia Eagles held them to what? 35 yards on 19 carries. Now, we know what the Kansas City Chiefs defense, run defense is. Skip, if you want to say you're impressed with the Cowboys defense, I'm impressed because you had the league's leading rusher entering today, Kareem Hunt. You held him in check. You got the best tight end in football. For the most part, you held him in check. You didn't let him get out of hand. The most dynamic offensive player in Tyreek Hill, he had that one play, but you held him in check. So for the most part, but when you look at their offense, you're talking about a team that's been giving up 5.5 yards a carry, giving up 200 yards rushing over the last couple of weeks. That's not what they did. That's not what the Cowboys did.
So you can look this up. You can call it up because I did a Facebook Live before the game, just before the Cowboy game, yesterday afternoon, and I said that this game will belong to Dak Prescott, not to Ezekiel Elliott. Even against the run defense that you said again and again last week, they'll shred this run defense. What did Zeke wind up with for the game?
He had 27 for like 97, 94.
93. 27 for 93 yards. That's a grand total of 3.4 yards per carry. Is that just wiping out a run defense that should have been wiped out? No. Sorry.
What? Skip, give the Cowboys credit. You still tried to run the football. You weren't as effective as you wanted to be, or maybe you thought you would be. And then Dak was able to do what he did. But Carson Wentz, not only did they get what they wanted running the ball, they said, Carson, come on and throw it back here. Because, we give these running backs a break. Against the no-fly zone. The number one.
It's a
no, it's not.
They quit yesterday. You know it, and I know it. They quit on that rookie head coach.
Hey,
that's not a good sign.
All I know is Tom Brady didn't get 51. Tom Brady didn't get 51. Cam Newton didn't get 51. Matt Ryan didn't get 51. Drew Brees didn't get 51. Matthew Stafford didn't get 51. I keep naming all these guys, and none of them have done what Carson Wentz did yesterday.
Your Broncos played their Super Bowl against Dallas and their toilet bowl in Philadelphia. You know it, and I know it. That was ugly what happened yesterday.
It was ugly, and we'll address that as we go along in this show. But when you look at it, Skip, all I know is you keep talking about your offense. You had 24 points. At one point, the score in the Rams game was 24-6. You ended with 30. Now, unless Dak did not touch the ball anytime in the second half, that's unacceptable for that offense to get 6 points.
He couldn't get the ball back
Why?
very much because the defense couldn't keep the other offense off the field.
So let me ask you a question. When he did get the ball back, what did he do with it?
I guess he didn't do enough, but he didn't have it very much.
I don't know.
Because Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers just controlled it, mostly because Todd Gurley, and remember the emergence of one Aaron Jones that game, they just dominated time of possession. What was it, like 19 minutes to 11 minutes? You can't put that on Dak. What did he do in the first half?
I'm going to talk about my guy, First Cousin, a little later, but he was down. He went 70 yards in 35 seconds. So it doesn't matter how much time you have the ball, what you do with it when you get it. That went, it ain't all the time. See, I can spend about 15 minutes on the phone with Nicole, but what am I going to say when I get on the phone, Joey? That's all that matters, Skip.
So they're playing kids all around the secondary because obviously really four veteran members of the secondary are no longer with the secondary.
Other than Malcolm Jenkins, name somebody in Philly's secondary.
I don't care.
Exactly. See, that's my point.
They got Malcolm Jenkins, who's a stud, man.
Darby.
Is he not a Pro Bowl player?
Even the guy that they traded for, that was supposed to be their best cover guy, Darby, has only played one game.
Ronald Darby dislocated his ankle, and he was a game-time decision to come back yesterday. And now that with their bye, I assume he'll be back. So you got him back. You lost Jordan Hicks, your linebacker. He's a we now. I'm talking to him like he's a
Jason Peters
Eagles we.
is not coming back this year.
You scared? You ought to be.
Scared of what?
Against that Cowboy
When I got
rush?
that guy, would you see that guy number 11 on your screen? What am I to be scared of? He said, I got this, Shay.
Have you watched lately DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor? Do you see how he comes after quarterbacks? And then that David Irving, I kept telling you, he's a monster on the other side. Remember what Rob Ryan said? I don't think I've ever seen a bigger man on a football field than David Irving.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.